During the summer vacation, after the college entrance exam, I found an online game to pass the time. My 3-year-long gaming addiction, which had been holding back during high school, finally exploded during the summer break. In the game, I made many new friends, and so for the entire summer vacation. Apart from eating and sleeping, I spent every other moment playing games. Back then, I never would have believed it'd end up falling in love online. When I was even younger, just starting to get acquainted with the internet, I met a chat buddy named Old Ghost. At the moment, I was carried away and agreed when the other person suggested meeting in person. But after actually meeting them, I regretted it so badly that I could have kicked myself. The other person's online was Old Ghost, and who would have guessed he'd really be an old man. Fortunately, at the time I was still just a little girl and hadn't started dressing up much yet, so the other person didn't take any notice of me. As a result, when we got home, everyone tacitly stopped talking altogether. Then, this summer vacation, a friend I met in the game whose name is Moran caught my interest. Fun. 1. I particularly love the aloof persona often seen online, and especially when I saw that Moran ranked among the top 10 in the equipment lists. I immediately made up my mind to pursue him. Of course, I'm talking about online, not in real life. After all, in real life I'm a socially anxious girl with next to zero social interactions, let alone actively pursuing guys. Although this is also why I spend so much time playing games during summer vacation. That day, I saw Moran come online, and my heart leapt with joy. I clicked on his profile picture and began my daily dog-minus-sitting routine. Am a knife fairy, so, on the next workday, shall we meet up and see what's going on? Suddenly, am a fairy to me every week, missing you. Suddenly. A beautiful day starts with cheesy romantic lines. Just as I was thinking of coming up with another one, my best gaming buddy sent me a message. It's cloudy and drizzling, honey. Wanna join the Grey Wolf dungeon? There's a pro player leading the way. I glanced at it and instantly got excited. Sure, I've been grinding dungeons every single day, but pro players aren't something you run into every day. I'm a fairy, after all. Me, bring it on. I quickly tapped her profile picture and hit join party. As soon as I joined the party, suddenly, the pro player was already there. I thought to myself, isn't this just monkey poop? I'm a fairy after all. Me, what a coincidence. Ran, you're here too. Suddenly cloudy with light rain. You'll take care of the monsters for a bit. Little knows you just focus on nursing. My best friend reminded me, because last time I'd been so absorbed in nursing that it suddenly wandered off without paying the slightest attention to who was holding the fort in the group. That time, everyone really died a gruesome death. I'm a fairy, you know. Me got it. It'll be totally professional this time, since there were the big shots in our group. We chose the hard mode for the dungeon. After finishing it once, we dropped several awesome items, which made both me and Yintian and Xiaoyu overjoyed. Right then and there, we suggested to those two big shots that we from a permanent for minus person team, and to our rare delight, they actually agreed. Although I can't tell you how happy I am. From now on, my gaming life will be guided by a pro player. I'll get to pick up cool stuff, and I'll have plenty of opportunities to hang out with Moran. 3 one day, as we were just hanging out like that, my best friend, Yintian Xiaoyu, suddenly shared some great news. She had teamed up with him, Xiao to form a couple. The fairy herself, me. Suddenly, look, they formed a couple. Suddenly. I'm a fairy. Me, should we form a couple too? Suddenly. No. I stared mournfully at the computer screen. This was already the 10th time I'd been turned down by the big shot. But I was discouraged. After all, that just meant the big shot was someone who'd just settle for anyone. Unlike some guys online who'll hit on any woman they see. I secretly chatted with Overcast Little Rain in private, asking for advice on the 36 stratagems for winning over a guy. I'm a fairy, you know. Me, Little Rain. How did you manage to win over Emma, little baby? overcast little rain. He was the one chasing me, in fact. As soon as I posted a photo in the group chat, he started reaching out to me every single day, wanting to chat. Although, I'm a fairy, what's with that amazing photo? Send it over, I want to take a peek. Rainy day, it's just a regular selfie. Nothing special. Still, she couldn't resist my persistent nagging and ended up adding me as a friend. When I saw the photo Shed sent over, I fell into deep thought once again. My gaming bestie, he turns out just actually a total beauty. People always say there are fewer handsome guys and more beautiful girls online. But it seems to be true after all. Just like that, I stumbled upon this gorgeous girl out of nowhere. Anyone who sees her would be smitten. No wonder the big shots are all rushing to chase after her. I scrolled through Rainy Day's moments, trying out her poses and taking a few selfies myself. I looked left. I looked right, none of them seemed good enough to keep. So I gave up on the alluring photo tactic. I'll just stick to being a loyal little fanboy I've always been. Who knows, maybe one day, just by licking away, you'll end up with everything you could ever want. In the days that followed, whenever I saw Moran online, I'd always find a way to chat with him. Online, I'm the type who go out of my way to start a conversation even if the other person mostly just replies, with a few brief nods, or sounds like or minus huh. So I had a very pleasant chat with Moran. Oh, that's just what I think of myself. I insist on asking myself two questions every day. Did you like me a little more today? I want to be with you today. I am a fairy too, Huh? Suddenly. No, don't. Look, this is one of the reasons I love Moran. Every time I chat with him, he manages to maintain his aloof persona while still answering every single one of my questions. Just as I was happily indulging in being the licking dog every single day, my parents issued a strict ultimatum to both me and my older brother. We're supposed to go back to our hometown to help Grandma and Grandpa harvest the rice. If we refuse, we'll have to figure out how to cover our living expenses during college ourselves. My older brother and I were forced to give in under our parents' coercion. There's no internet back home, and even the signal isn't very good. That evening, my parents gave the notice so suddenly, and we had to leave early the next morning. There was time to log on and say hello to Moran. I hadn't added Moran as a friend, so I was forced to cut off all contact with him for a week. What I didn't expect was that, because it quietly disappeared for a week, Moran ended up taking the initiative and reaching out to me. Words. Him so excited. Suddenly. Where did it go? I'm a fairy. My parents sent me back to the countryside to harvest rice. Suddenly. Oh, are you not missing me? I am a fairy, too. I habitually make jokes. Suddenly. Hey little. Am I about to get everything a licking dog could possibly want? Am a fairy too. Me. Minus How about being my boyfriend today? Suddenly sure. Okay. I wonder if he accidentally left out a character after all. This reply is different from his usual ones. I'm a fairy, you know. Me, did you forget to type something? Just one character. Suddenly no. Then he sent another message. If you don't want to, that's fine. I was afraid HED changed his mind, so I quickly replied. I'm a fairy. Me think. Nodding vigorously like a garlic pestle, and just like that, on that day, I put an end to my looking minus dog lifestyle and officially kicked off my online dating talkative phase. Besides playing games with Moran, I also added him as a friend using an alt account. Now I can chat with him every single moment, every night. I tirelessly ask him for his ABS photos. He also generously sent me one photo after another, but it just doesn't show the face. On this point, I highly commend his approach. After all, old Ghost has already scared me enough. Neither of us has ever asked the other to reveal any compromising photos. Nor have we even bothered to ask each other's names. That's how we've been keeping our distance while still getting along just fine. As for Moran, this considerate guy, really starting to like him more and more. One day, Xiao Yu sent me a message complaining, "Cloudy Xiao Yu. Sis, let me give you some advice. Never meet in person if you're dating online. I'm an angel to me. What kind of setback did you run into? Tell me about it so I can have a good laugh. Cloudy Xiao Yu, just the other day, I happened to be on a business trip to City H, and guess what? Xiao Bibi was also in City H and invited me to meet up, so I agreed. I'm a fairy, me. What do I look like?" Just then my phone buzzed. I tapped on it and saw that Xiao Yu had sent me a photo. The angle suggests it was taken secretly during an A-person meeting. In the photo, the man has a Mediterranean-style haircut, a sausage-like mouth, and a greasy-looking face. My phone slipped out of my hand and landed directly on the table. I'm a fairy, you know. Me? Next time, it suggests you just describe it to me verbally. After all, my imagination isn't that vivid. Hearing about it always feels less jarring than seeing the photos. You've got to understand this. Xiao Bibi is one of the top 3 monks on the rankings, and in the game, so many female players are dying to team up with him. CPO, it turns out it's all about the allure of money. I suddenly thought to myself, actually, my gear isn't bad at all after all. It's ranked in the top 10. There's no way I could be some greasy guy, right? But yay. I opened my phone and flipped through the photos of my ABS that it saved. As I stared at them, I couldn't help but think, it can't be real. How could a greasy guy possibly have ABS? Then a terrifying thought struck me again. These ABS photos look way too good. Could they be stock images from the internet? Once I had this idea, I could no longer gaze at those ABS and let my thoughts wander. Every night, I also stopped pestering Moran to ask for photos of his ABS. Gradually, she also became less enthusiastic about Manmo. Before we knew it, it was time for the start of the school year, and my brother and I set off for S University. Yes, because my parents were so worried about me, a girl being out on my own. They encouraged me to apply for the college entrance exam through my older brother's recommendation. The school I'm currently attending, and my score happened to just pass the admission cutoff. My parents were worried I wouldn't get along well with my dorm mates, so they specially rented a 2-bedroom, 1-living-room apartment near the school. CO this way, no matter where we go. It's super convenient. You don't have to worry about dorm room lock-out times. After settling into the new place and unpacking our bags, Mom and Dad headed back home. Maybe it was because my attitude had shifted so quickly that Moran suddenly noticed, and for the first time ever, he started taking the initiative to come over and chat with me. Moran, you've stopped initiating messages to me now. Moran, judging by the current situation, I guess I've lost favor. Moran, okay. I get it, everyone has their own phone, right? Miri, so articulate. I'd really like to give you an award for that. Moran, an award for being a wronged man? With a pouty emoji. Mino Bell keeps talking about that. Moran sent me a little puppy stares emoji in response. Then added another message, wanna see my ABS, baby? The term baby. It started calling him that out of sheer persistence, and at first he felt a bit embarrassed. But now he uses it effortlessly, calling me baby all the time without any hesitation. One, me in broad daylight, don't be so flirty. Suddenly, alright baby, you'll flirt later tonight. Me. Look, my little sycophant has finally made it. Times have turned, and now it's my turn to get a few likes and comments. That evening, he suddenly made his first voice call to me. I was captivated by his deep, magnetic voice. The waning enthusiasm has once again surged to new heights. Even if the ABS photo is from the internet, I don't care anymore. Anyway, we're not even seeing each other. Even if he were some ugly freak, he still wouldn't shake a single bit of my composure. This might just be what they call out of sight, out of mind. Since I'm a freshman and my classes are pretty packed, I have less time to play games. After wrapping up a day's activities, I collapsed onto the sofa in my rented apartment, utterly exhausted. Suddenly, I heard the sound of a key turning in the lock. still lying there motionless. I knew it was my older brother coming home. Yes, what I didn't expect was that, after opening the door, it was just my older brother who came, and following closely behind him was his best friend, Gu Kongshi. Speaking of Gu Kongshi, HES known my older brother for a long time, for the first 2 years of high school. They were even in the same class. The day before yesterday, he said he'd be returning to his hometown to continue his studies and needed to inform old man Yingting ahead of time. So I haven't seen him for quite a while now. Although I suddenly sat up straight, pretending to take a sip of water from my cup, but my eyes were secretly scanning him, still that same handsome aloof look. Who would have thought that, of all places, he'd end up at the very same university as my brother? Back in high school, he'd occasionally come over to our house to hang out. My brother told me that at school, tons of girls chased after him, but he'd always turned them down, saying he needed to focus entirely on the college entrance exams. Good minus looking, brilliant academically, and completely uninterested in romance. Truly a rare and touchable gem. Just as my thoughts drifted off into a daydream, my brother asked me, "Shenanianian, do you want to join us for some online gaming?" I shook my head and declined. I just couldn't handle that kind of game anyway. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even started playing online games in the first place. My brother glanced at me briefly and said, "If you're not playing, then get out of the way." I rolled my eyes at him. It turned out he just wanted me to make room for him. I didn't want to interrupt their fun anyway, so I grabbed my cup and headed back into my room. After all, I totally understood how someone feels when they're playing a game and don't want to be disturbed by anyone. Once I got back to my room, I opened up the game. And lo and behold, no Ren was online, nor a Xiaoyu. So, I pulled out my phone and sent Mo Ran a message. "Tell me, Ran, what are you doing? I'm so bored. Want to hop on sometime?" I waited for a while, but it took forever before I finally received his reply. "No, Ran. I'm out somewhere. I'll log in later when I get back." I'm a bit disappointed. Me alright. I'll just play by myself for a bit. After sending this message, I quickly put together a casual team and started grinding through the dungeon, completely unaware of the conversation happening outside the hall at that very moment. It was rare to see Gu Kongshi playing a game yet still taking time to reply to messages. Shen Anzu, curious, leaned over to take a peek and asked, "Who's that?" Gu Kongshi didn't want him to see, so he tried to tap the X to close the window. But accidentally, his finger slipped, and instead, he ended up highlighting the other person's profile picture. I clicked it. It was an orange cat with a white patch on its chest shaped like a heart. Shenanzu spotted it and thought HED accidentally opened his own WeChat moments. "Isn't this my cat? Damn it, why are you checking moments while we're in the game?" Gu Kongshi looked at him with a skeptical expression. "Are you sure this is your cat?" "Definitely. Look at its chest. Doesn't the white patch look just like a heart?" "That's exactly why my mom named it Tai." After finishing a round of the game, Gu Kongshi opened Shannon X's WeChat moments. Sure enough, the background image was of this very cat, and it was the same photo too. After refreshing the sub-minus asks in my room a few times, I logged off. With the boss not around, grinding dungeons with a random group felt way too tough, and I didn't feel like playing at all. So I picked up my water bottle again and headed out to the living room to refill it. Just as I was about to walk back into my room with the water bottle, my phone in my pocket suddenly rang 3 times in quick succession. I pulled it out to check, and it turned out to be 3 emojis sent by Moran. I casually replied with an emoji of my own, then stuffed the phone back into my pocket, since it suddenly gotten an urgent urge to go to the bathroom. I hadn't noticed at all that Gu Kongshi had been watching me with a look that was somehow deeply meaningful. The look in his eyes. My older brother's basketball club suddenly announced that they're going to hold a match against the neighboring university. So that evening, my older brother took a small cake and knocked on my door. I glanced at the bribe in his hand, reluctantly accepted it, and agreed to serve as his logistics assistant on the day of the competition. Employee. The so-minus called logistics simply involve handing them water and tissues after they finish playing basketball. I smoothly and effortlessly launched the game, and after finishing today's activities together with Moran, we started chatting casually. Suddenly, baby, why have you been online less and less lately? Me, there's nothing I can do, classes just started, and there are a lot of them. After thinking for a moment, I told him about my plan to play the role of my older brother's assistant. You'll be gone for a whole day the day after tomorrow. You'll have to play foot soldier for my brother. Moran hunt, baby. Don't overwork yourself. An emoji showing an embrace soon enough. The day of the match arrived, and I showed up at the venue early. To my surprise, there were a lot of people, especially girls. Just as I was feeling down, my brother suddenly appeared behind me. See how charming I am? So many people came just to watch me. As usual, I couldn't resist teasing him. Cut out the vanity already. And I was strong. Most of the girls at the scene had their eyes glued to Gu Kongxi. In terms of looks, Gu Kongxi even outshone my brother. Over 190 centimeters tall, with broad shoulders and a narrow waist, he had a lean, muscular physique. Even wearing the simplest jersey, he still could and hide his powerfully toned muscles. No wonder all those girls kept staring at Gu Kongxi. Even I couldn't help but take a few extra glances. The match started quickly, and every time Gu Kongxi scored a goal, cheers erupted from outside the field. I covered my ears, marveling at how crazy these girls were, and pulled out my phone to snap away at the action. The reason was that right before he went on the field, my brother asked me to take lots of photos of him and even instructed me to make sure they looked especially cool, since he planned to post them on his social media feed. After the match ended, I stared silently at the photos in my album. I counted them carefully, 15 shots in total, yet only 3 of them featured my brother himself. The remaining 12 cards are mostly by Gu Kongxi. This is really spooky. I reflected for a moment, then pulled out my phone again and started snapping away at my older brother. Click, click, click. Although the photo turned out a bit blurry, I suppose that's part of its hazy beauty. I'm also including a short video for him as a bonus. I'm thinking these few photos plus a short video should be enough to get the job done. After all, I finished that little cake from that evening in just 3 bites. Getting paid according to the amount of work you do, that's probably what it means. 9 when the match ended. As my older brother had instructed, I held several bottles of mineral water and towels, handing them out to each team member one by one. Just as I was about to hand the last bottle to Gu Kongxi, I noticed a girl already offering him some water. Instantly, I changed direction and headed toward another teammate instead. I figured, since he'd already gotten a drink, there was no need for me to bring him any more, plus it'd save me some trouble. As I was about to put down the last bottle of water I was holding, unexpectedly Gu Kongxi walked over. Without a word, he grabbed the final bottle of water and the towel, then took big gulps of the water. Watching his Adam's apple bobbing up and down right in front of me, I felt my throat tighten and swallowed hard to keep calm. Pretending not to notice, I quickly looked away. If I remembered correctly, the girl who'd just handed him water was the school beauty queen. I sighed inwardly. Sure enough, she really was a rare gem. Even the school beauty queen didn't bother accepting water from her. Finally, after the game ended, my ears could finally enjoy some peace and quiet. I unlocked my phone and sent the photos I'd taken to my older brother. On a whim, I also opened Moran's little window and sent him a short video, adding this caption: finally, another day of being the little sidekick is over. Lele, you owe me an AES photo for comfort. And don't forget to call me baby again. Ran. I sent 3 messages in quick succession, and as soon as I finished, my phone started buzzing on the desk right then. One of the phones rang 3 times in a row. Sound. My gaze fixed on that phone. Then I glanced at the small window between me and Moran. I sent another emoji over on a whim. Sure enough, that phone rang again. I widened my eyes. No way. Is that really a coincidence? My online love interest, Min Ran, is right here on this court, but I no longer know exactly who it is. I stared nervously as the players dispersed, each coming over to pick up their belongings, including their phones. I stared in stunned silence at Gu Kangxi, who was walking toward me, watching as he expertly picked up that phone. Then I unlocked the screen, tapped the phone a few times, and put it back into my pocket. Then, my phone vibrated, just the vibration it deliberately set earlier. I opened my phone and saw a sudden reply, "Baby, you're such a good girl, I'll send it to you when I get home tonight. Hugs emoji." Right now, my heart is incredibly conflicted. Is the flowers refined as the cowl and one something an ordinary girl like me could even dare to covet? Ever since I found out that Gu Kongxi was Mo Ran, I've made a point of avoiding him every time he comes over to my house again. Yet he has no idea why he comes to play Black Ops with my older brother almost every single day. When I accidentally met his gaze, I felt inexplicably guilty. Of course I'd feel guilty, how could I not? Even a school beauty like that isn't good enough for him. If he found out HED been dating someone like me online, I bet HED feel really bummed out. I thought about it all night and decided to say goodbye to the other person. That day, I teamed up with Mo Ran as usual to complete the quest. During the process, he accidentally delivered the final blow to the boss, causing me to fail. I took on this task, and am the one who has to deliver the final blow for it to be completed. I was really bothered by this little thing in the first place. But then it suddenly occurred to me, this is definitely a good reason to break up, isn't it? How many couples have been broken up by a small thing? So I pretended to be angry. "What are you doing? You're daydreaming when we're together." Suddenly, perhaps caught off guard by my reaction, he quickly tried to reassure me, "Baby, don't be mad, let's do it again. Me just do something. I don't have that much time." Crying emoji MUR, and then how about I log into your baby account and help you complete this task? I was momentarily speechless. So I simply didn't reply at all and just logged out. As soon as MUR noticed I'd logged out, a voice call came through the next second. His usual aloof tone was completely gone. Instead, he kept coaxing me, apologizing over and over, urging me not to be mad, and even telling me that if anything unhappy ever happened in life, I should definitely share it with him. He even kept sending me red envelopes one after another. He really did it. I'm crying my eyes out. The flower of Gowling actually seems to notice my humble, ingratiating demeanor. I suppressed the fluttering in my heart and, with as much indifference as I could muster, tossed out 3 words, "Let's break up." Then he immediately hung up the phone and promptly gave him the delete and block treatment. Let the stories on the internet stay on the internet. After deleting Mo Ran as a friend, I stopped playing the game altogether. I was just afraid that if I saw any messages from Mo Ran, I'd soften up and end up regretting it. To distract myself, I signed up for a club and spent my free time immersed in it thus. Another week passed. On Friday evening, I found Gu Kongxi at my home again. Unlike usual, this time I didn't see my older brother. I'm not sure if it was just my imagination, but he'd gotten a bit thinner. When he saw me come back, he glanced at me briefly. I gave him a nod in return, as if we'd already exchanged greetings. That's always been my usual way of greeting him. Although he often came over to our house to play games with my older brother, he rarely spoke. Every time I stepped out to get some water or go to the bathroom, the sound of his conversation with my brother would abruptly stop the moment I opened the door to my room. This always makes me think that I've suddenly popped in and disrupted their gaming atmosphere. So, every time, he'd quickly head into my own room. "Where's my brother?" he asked at the supermarket. Gu Kongxi replied. I was sure if it was because he hadn't spoken for so long that his voice sounded a bit hoarse. I nodded and, wanting to avoid the awkwardness of being in the same room with him, I hurried into my room. Just as I was about to close the door, a large hand grabbed hold of the door frame. It was Gu Kongxi. He pulled the door open a bit, squeezed in from outside, and quickly closed the door again. The room instantly fell into deathly silence. I stared at him in a daze. "What's this all about again?" Kukong, she lowered her head slightly, and her deep voice rang out, "Baby, let's not break up, okay?" After he finished speaking, he looked up at me. In that instant, it felt as if a firework had exploded in my mind. I decided to play dumb and pretend I didn't understand a thing. "What, baby? I have no idea what you're talking about." He gave me a hurt look, then pulled out his phone and opened the chat window we usually use to communicate. "Do you dare take out your phone?" "Of course not." "How?" "I wouldn't dare." I nervously licked my lips, momentarily at a loss for what to say. The next second, I was enveloped in a warm embrace. I froze instantly. Kukong, she buried her face in the crook of my shoulder, and a muffled voice reached my ears. "Baby, let's get back together, okay? I don't want to break up with you." Hearing his voice, slightly choked with emotion, I even found myself wondering if I didn't agree. Would he immediately burst into tears right in front of me? "Don't bring online feelings into real life, okay? Who said my feelings for you are only online?" Kukong, she let go of me and suddenly said this out of the blue. "Huh?" I didn't understand. He looked at me with piercing eyes and said, "I've known it was you all along. You chased me online, how about I chase you in real life?" Oh my goodness. This is the first time I've ever been hit with such a straightforward confession. Still, it feels so unreal to me. After all, I'm just average minus looking, average minus built basically. I'm just average in every way. Why do you like me? I can't really put it into words. All I know is that wherever you are, my eyes just can't help but follow you. I want to be right there with you. That's why whenever I have a spare moment, I come find your brother to play together. But you're basically always cooped up in your room and never come out. I've been thinking of asking you to meet in person once things settled down a bit, but who would have thought the outcome would be a breakup instead? Will you be my girlfriend?" After he finished speaking rapidly and noisily, I couldn't help but burst out laughing. "Okay,